Welcome to the EOB podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Bino, and joining me is Sen Duong. Hey, so Sen, welcome back to another podcast.
All right, good to be here.
Yeah, so we have 3 new releases last weekend. The Girl on the Train, which is based on Paula Hawkin's best-selling novel in 2015, and they did a quick turnaround and turned it into a movie that's released around the same time as Gone Girl, which is kind of like a similar book.
The novel. Right.
There is Nate Parker. Is that his name? Yeah, Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation, that's based on a true story about a slave revolt back in the colonial days, I guess.
Right.
And then there's Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life, which is based on a children's series. Jumping right in, the number 1 movie, as expected, right? We predicted that The Girl on the Train will come in number 1, and it did. It pulled in $24.5 million over the weekend. Our projection, I said that it would do 30, and you said it would do 15.
And it came right in the middle.
It came in right in the middle, and I blamed that on the...
Oh, wait, did you say 30 or 35?
I say 30.
Oh, so it came in way closer to... You're pretty close. You're just, a few million off.
Yeah. I said that, since it's based on a book, right? A best-selling book in 2015. They try to strike while it's hot, and they turn it into a movie just like the following year.
Right.
And I blame the me missing the figure, that 30 figure. The movie missing the 30 million opening due to the presidential debate and that hurricane going on in Florida.
Yeah.
At least that's my excuse.
True. That could have taken a couple million. Those are good reasons.
Right. Those 2 events made the movie miss 6 million off this box office take.
Yeah. So it did 24.5 million over the weekend on a budget of just 45 million. That's pretty good. Despite, reviews weren't that great. Reviews were like, 43%? I mean, Gone Girl...
Yeah, it's in the 40s.
Yeah, so Gone Girl, I think the reviews were in the 80s. Gone Girl was pretty well reviewed, but this wasn't. And I think this is Emily Blunt's, probably her biggest hit with her in the top billing.
Let's see, is that right?
I think so, because every one of her other hits were like co-starring bigger stars like Tom Cruise or...
Okay, yeah, that's true. Well, you can't really beat out Tom Cruise.
Yeah, right.
Your reason for the movie not opening as well is because you said that, Emily Blunt is not known to open movies.
Yeah, right. I was comparing it to Gone Girl, and Gone Girl was well reviewed. This wasn't. Gone Girl had a David Fincher. This, doesn't. So, in the end, it did pretty well. Did very well.
Yeah, but like I said, this movie is based on a novel, and sometimes these popular novels, sometimes reviews doesn't really, put much of a dent into, into the box office because they're fans of it. I mean, it's the second weekend and on, it's the second weekend on that kind of affects it.
Yeah. It depends. Some of these adaptations work and some of them don't. When it draws a huge audience like this, we all say, oh yeah, because it's based on a popular novel. When it tanks or does unspectacular business, then we say, oh, it's everything else.
Well, the thing is, I like to point out is that The Girl on the Train is more geared toward the, I think the older group, right? Adult moviegoers.
Yeah, and probably women too.
And those are not as fickle though. That audience is not as fickle as movies that's geared toward the teens.
Yeah, it could be.
Look! All those Nicholas Sparks movies, he's still in business.
Yeah, he's still in business.
His movie is in decline, but it's just take that one movie to get him back up again.
Right.
Because he has fans. His book has fans.
Yeah, he does have fans. But like we said last week, we're not sure how big the novel is. Because unlike the 50 Shades of Grey novels, which sold hundreds of millions, I'm not sure what makes a novel a hit. Did The Girl on the Train sold like 1 million novels, 10 million copies? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure. It probably got the number 1 on probably the New York Times book list or something like that.
Yeah, but number 1 sometimes could mean like
for a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, like hundreds to thousands of copies. Like
right.
They probably sold pretty well, but is it 1 million copies, which is considered a big hit, or 100 million copies, which is kind of in another stratosphere? Is it Harry Potter big, or is it just 1 million copy paid.
Right, we don't know because this movie, I mean, the book was released in last year,
Mhm.
right? And I don't think it was like the runaway success that some of the bigger book series you mentioned. So the smart thing is that they strike while it's hot.
Yeah, yep.
They took what was popular right then and then turned it into a movie, just the next year.
Mhm. And just when you thought Emily Blunt can't open a movie, here she goes.
She proved you wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
mainly because she was on the cusp of,
Yeah.
of this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in her other movies, she held her own.
Yeah, and it's too bad that this wasn't better review, but hey, a hit's a hit.
Yeah. The movie cost $45 million and the opening is 24.5.
Yeah.
Hey, almost half the production budget right there.
Yeah, so now I think Emily Blunt is, like you said, she was on the cusp and now she's finally hit a home run. So let's see if she can hit a couple more before we put her on the A-list.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just there. It's just finding the right material for her. I mean, she was always there playing second fiddle to Tom Cruise and others, right?
Yeah.
But now that she's giving her own movies, and maybe, I don't know, I would want to see her in these kind of roles where, kind of like the Ashley Judd roles,
Yeah.
Woman in Peril,
Yeah,
kind of
right,
thing,
right.
because she's better than that. I
Yeah.
think a lot of women, female actresses are better than that, but I don't want to see her after this typecast into this.
Well,
type
she
of
is a
role.
very good actress, so she'll probably be one of those actresses who does an indie movie here and then a mainstream movie next, who kind of mix it up.
Right. Talent is not the question here.
Yeah, definitely. All right, should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to number 2, which is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It pulled in $15.1 million in the second weekend. Drop off is only 47.6%. It's kind of low considering that it had a largish, not that large, but large opening, right? You expect the second weekend to drop, above 50%, but hey, it held.
I think the hold is just okay. Like for a movie that costs 110 million and a sort of a family film, I was expecting a better hold, but 48%. Maybe in the following weeks it'll hold up better, but at this rate, it's not going to reach its 110 million production budget domestically. But worldwide, it's doing really well. It's already at 145 million worldwide.
Yeah, like we said, it's the overseas market that's keeping Tim Burton employed.
Yeah.
Because like his movies domestically is not, kind of pulling his weight.
Yeah, but for some reason he has a large following overseas.
Well, because I think it's the visuals, right? I mean, his movies always look different, look good, right?
Yeah, they always look different. They look unique. They have a certain uniqueness. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe that plays better overseas. Maybe in Europe they are more Aussie than we are in the States.
Well, it's just that I think our export are really special effects and special effects because we're pretty much the best at it.
Yeah.
Right, because we have the production budget, in the 200 million range,
Yeah.
and other countries couldn't really compare,
Right.
Because they don't want to invest that much money, and the only way to see these kind of great looking movies is really the U.S.
Yeah, so Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, domestically, I think it continues the disappointing trend for Tim Burton. They open decent. They're not bombs, but, in relation to their budgets, they're kind of disappointing. Even though this movie has no huge stars other than, I guess, Eva Green and a bunch of supporting players like Terrence Stamp and Judi Dench and Samuel L. Jackson, they're mainly selling Tim Burton. Kind of disappointing, even though if you look at the cast, it's not bad.
Yeah, but the thing is, we both weren't very high in the movie in the first place. I thought,
Yeah.
I think we both project the movie to open in the
like-
10 million range.
Yeah, and it did way more than
Better.
that.
Yeah. But it's still, I mean, relative to its budget, it's still kind of a dud here.
I wouldn't say a dud, more like disappointing.
Dudish.
I'm not sure if you can even call it dudish.
Okay.
I think if it opened in like 10 million, you can call it a dud at 110 million. But it did open number one, 26 million or so. And it looks like you'll probably eventually make 80, maybe even 90 million. So slightly disappointing, but not an outright dud.
I'm not calling it a bomb.
Yeah, but worldwide is making up for whatever it's not making here.
Right. So it's not going to lose money for Fox.
Right. Speaking of disappointments, and this one is more duddish, I guess. Deepwater Horizon, Peter Berg's action film thriller based on that oil rig disaster. This weekend it did 11.5 million. It's holding up like 43% drop off. It's not bad. It's a well-reviewed film. After 2 weeks of release, it has already grossed 38 million. But again, like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the budget is 110 million. This one doesn't look like it'll get anywhere near it. This one could be duddish.
It is because, first of all, unlike Miss Peregrine's Home, after the second weekend, the movie only pulled in 38 million. Right? And the budget is the same as Peregrine's. And this, unlike Miss Peregrine's Home, Deepwater Horizon, I don't think plays well overseas. So its international take is not going to be as good as Miss Peregrine's.
Yeah, internationally, it has only grossed about 66 million so far. So it's not looking good.
Right.
So this one is kind of duddish.
Right. We thought the combination of Peter Berg and Mark Walhberg, who was, who are pretty reliable.
Yeah.
Right. Based on their previous track record.
Yeah. They did Lone Survivor, which was a huge box office hit, and this time it didn't work out.
Yeah, and I guess this is sort of another knock for Peter Berg, right? I mean, once you hand him a large budget,
right,
things doesn't end up well. His previous one, Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship was a huge, one of the biggest duds of that year. Well, thing is, Lone Survivor, he had Battleship, but then he also had Lone Survivor, which kind of maybe it cancels Battleship out a little bit, but before Battleship, he had Hancock, which did really well. So,
well, that was Will Smith.
Yeah, that was more Will Smith than anything. Yeah. We'll have to see how he does it, with his next film.
Once you reach above 100 million on the budget, it takes more.
Yeah.
You have to open well to, and then like stay in theaters. It just takes more to make that money back. But his comfort zone seems to be like sub 100, 70 million range movies.
In terms of gross, yeah. With Hancock and Lone Survivor being the exceptions rather than the rule. But,
right.
His last 4 films has been like hit, dud. So.
But if you look at the budget, it's not so it's not so mysterious. Right?
Yeah, the budgets are all super huge.
Yeah, if it's huge, it takes more.
Yeah.
And, he's probably not there yet to pull in that kind of unless you have a Will Smith to star in your movie.
Right.
Okay, so moving along to number 4 is The Magnificent Seven. It pulled in about 9 million over the weekend. In this third weekend, the domestic gross is at 75.8 million. The budget is 90, and the worldwide take right now is 133 million. Which is pretty good for a 90 million movie.
Yeah, it'll definitely make back its budget or turn a profit. But I think Sony, at 90 million, they might have expected this to do a little bit better, maybe.
Maybe. But I think everyone was projecting it to do, I don't know, better, I guess?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Yeah, but I guess sometimes, it fell short of that.
Yeah, because this is doing the kind of business that Denzel Washington usually does. But this time they have Chris Pratt, who's been on 2 super huge hits in a row. And it's the type of movie that he would be great in. I think people were expecting him to provide the film with, a slight bump at the box office, or even a big bump at the box office. But turned out he didn't do anything. Like, if you took him off, this would be typical Denzel Washington type business.
Oh, right. It is typical Denzel Washington movie, even though it's directed by, Antoine Fuqua. And, maybe it's one of those movies where the parts are not greater.
Yeah, than the sum.
Yeah, the whole is not greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Okay. People get what we mean. Yeah, the sum of its parts is not greater than the whole, I guess.
Okay. Like I say, I didn't sleep well, so my mind is kind of muddy. So
we're channeling our Ben Stiller.
Okay, Ben Stiller. All right, sure. All right, number 5 is Storks. It pulled in 8.3 million over the weekend. Kind of steadied itself, 38% drop off. And in its third weekend, it pulled in about 50 million on a budget of 70.
Let's see what the worldwide figure is at. It's at 107 million, which is not bad for a $70 million movie. Not a huge hit, but they'll eventually turn a profit when it hits home video.
All right, coming in number 6 is one of the new releases last weekend. It's The Birth of a Nation. It pulled in about 7 million over the weekend, and it kind of did a little bit better than where we projected the movie to do. We both had it at around 5.
Yeah, a little bit better, but it's not that great. The per screen average is only about 3,000, which is kind of mediocre. Fox Searchlight bought the rights for about 17 million. This will probably make 17 million, so they'll eventually probably break even, after home video.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like you said, this movie could do better if there is no controversy, that Nate Parker thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where he and his roommate were accused of raping their college
College
classmate.
friend. Yeah, college friend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were roommates. They were friends. They both play in sports, and the woman that they raped was Nate Parker's friend.
Yeah, anyway, they both were kind of exonerated, right? But I guess the victim killed herself recently. So there's that, and I think box office analysts said, that affected the box office somewhat.
It probably did, because you can't really promote this as well as you could have, if Nate Parker had a cleaner image. Even though he was exonerated, his friend was charged with sexual assault, but the only problem was during the appeal, the victim didn't continue on with the trial, and that's why he was kind of exonerated too.
Okay.
Thing is, they couldn't have promoted this the way they wanted to, because also central to the film was, the character that Nate Parker plays. The catalyst for the rebellion was that his wife in the film was brutally raped. It kind of throw things off.
Yeah, hypocritical that this movie is about rape and the reason for the rebellion, and then the people involved in the film did something similar.
Yeah, right. I mean, and this thing was one of those films that were touted. They paid 17 million at Sundance. It's huge. It might have been a record sum, paid for indie film.
Yeah, it's large for Fox Searchlight. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were, propping this up as this is going to be one of the front runners at this year's Oscars. You're talking about multiple nominations. You're talking about, a star-making film for, Nate Parker. But, because of the controversy, it's just kind of there. Even his supporters can't outright support this and say, hey, go watch this movie,
Yeah, so we'll see how Fox Searchlight will promote this movie come award season. Are they going to push hard for it, or are they going to say, yeah, it's there, please vote for it? Yeah,
they can't push Nate Parker anymore. They've been pushing the producer and the surrounding talent. They can't push that image of Nate Parker writing and producing and pushing for this film and trying to make this film for the last, several years or however long it was, and finally making it, and it turned out great, and it speaks for the times, and all that is out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to number 7, Middle School, the other new release that's targeted toward children or fans of the book series. It pulled in about 6.9 million over the weekend. Let's see. I was a bit high on it because I said, yay, it's another movie that's based on a book series.
Right.
I went as high as 15.
Right.
And you said 5.
Yeah. So I was closer with this one.
Hey, we kind of switched places on one of the movies. Yeah. So hey, you win one, you lose one.
Yeah, right. But when you look at the budget. The budget is only 8.5 million, so relative to the budget, this opening is actually not bad.
And we touched upon that, right?
Yeah.
We thought it looked like a TV show.
Did we?
Yeah, well, at least I touched upon it, and
yeah, we weren't sure what the budget was for this, right?
Right.
But when you look at the per screen average, this is only about like 2,500 per screen. You're playing to less than half-filled theater. So, but despite that, the budget is so low and the open is so wide that eventually might make money on home video.
Maybe, but the thing is, I've been to my local library, right, and I haven't seen this Middle School series. So I wonder how popular it is.
Yeah, exactly. We know that they're basing these films on novels, but you and I haven't seen the figures, like how huge of a property are these? Are these like books that sell 1 million copies or 100 million, or even sometimes a book that sells 100,000 copies is considered a hit? We don't know. Maybe next time we'll do some research.
Research us? No. Right. So in any case, right? Well, my reservation about this movie is we don't know how big this book series is.
Yeah.
I thought that the Diary of a Would-Be Kid was bigger, but I didn't know how big this one is.
Yeah.
In relative, so I was like, hey, if it's based on a book series, that means there's some notoriety, right? Some awareness. But I guess not. It's not that big. It's 6.8 million. So there you go.
But it was made for 8.5 million. So it'll make money.
Which means that they know it's not that big.
Yeah. And Lionsgate is made by Lionsgate. So the marketing budget.
It's Lionsgate.
Yeah. Yeah, the marketing budget was probably only about 10 million. So No, the break-even point is probably around like 20 million, and yeah, it could get to 20 million theatrically, and it'll make money on home video.
Right, and of course, like I said, Lionsgate has a very strong TV arm. They'll go there and syndicate to these other cable channels or TV channels. So there you go.
Reviews weren't too bad. 61% on Rotten Tomatoes for this kind of film,
which is better than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the next film. Sully, it pulled in $5 million over the weekend. It continues to hold up decently well. Like the drop off is only about 39%. It has grossed 113 million after 5 weeks at a budget of just 60 million. The worldwide figure is at 167 million.
Okay, and number 9 is Masterminds. In the second weekend, it dropped to, actually number 9.
Yeah.
Put in about 4 million over the weekend. Experienced a 37% drop off. I mean, it's low.
Yeah.
The drop off percentage is low because it opened low.
Yeah.
The domestic gross is 12.7 million.
Yeah, total. So not good for any of the comedians involved.
Right, and it does seem like this movie's play well overseas either because it's a comedy.
Right.
Comedies don't travel well, and I don't think they can make sense of the story anyway.
Right. All right, let's move on to the last film in the top 10, Queen of Katwe.
Yeah, sure. Katwe.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Gross 1.6 million over the weekend. It has already grossed 5.4 million total after 3 weeks of release. I think this was one of those limited indie films that expanded to thousands of theaters. It's holding up decent, 35% drop off, but at a budget of 15 million, it doesn't look like it'll get there.
Yeah, this is one of those awards play. It's directed by Mira Nair, who's kind of did some pretty well-regarded movies. And it stars Laputa Nyong'o and David Oyelowo. I mean, some Oscar.
Yeah, and I
don't know if they win an Oscar or they got nominated.
Yeah, they've been nominated. Yeah, and the reviews are fantastic. 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. So the only thing is, at this current way, it doesn't look like it's gonna stay in theaters long enough for the award season to prop it up.
They could do another re-release once it gets nominated. I mean, this is one of those things that where they try to, I guess stoke some interest.
Right.
And I guess it's not latching.
Yeah, it's not latching on. It's not drawing that awareness, despite great reviews.
Right. And I guess this is one of those things where, it's an awards play. I don't think Disney, who released the movie, expected anything big out of it.
Yeah.
They try to, promote this movie and try to win an award with this movie.
Right.
So.
And they might get some awards later.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that rounds out the top 10. Let's move on to this week's new releases. We have 3 wide releases this weekend. The Accountant with Ben Affleck, Kevin Hart What's Now, it's a comedy, and and Max Steel.
That's a comic book movie, right? Is that a comic book? Superhero movie, but not comic book movie.
Well, superhero movie that's based on a toy.
A toy? Okay, not a game.
A toy.
Okay, all right.
Not a game. I'm sure there's a game made of it, but it's originally a toy.
Okay, all right. So it has Transformers potential.
Maybe.
Not really. Not that popular. All right.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah. All right, which one should we start with?
Yeah, let's talk about The Accountant. It's directed by Gavin O'Connor. He did some well-regarded stuff like Warrior, Jane. Well, let's not talk about Jane Got a Gun. Tumbleweeds. Those are well-regarded movies.
Yeah, well-regarded movies, but not not particularly box office hits, right?
Exactly. I mean, he's not a box office director yet. Right. So now he teamed up with Ben Affleck to make The Accountant, and Ben Affleck plays a guy who has, I think, one of these, who's autistic, I think. Right? And I guess he uses his particular set of skills to,
to help drug dealers evade taxes and stuff. Something like that.
Is it to help drug dealers evade taxes or to help the government catch drug dealers?
Drug dealers,
I don't know.
terrorists. It sounded like a bunch of bad guys. High taxes or high money, launder money, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it seems like he's doing it for the U.S. government, though. He's kind of sent in to do some, I guess undercover to help them hide the thing, and then later to extract him, from it.
I'm not sure.
Trouble spots.
What I got from the trailer was that the government caught on to him.
Okay, let's look this up. Let's look this up.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Wikipedia, I think, or something on the sidebar when I did a search. Okay, Christian Wolff, Ben Affleck, is a mathematics savant with more affinity for numbers than people. Using a small-town CPA office as a cover, he makes his living as a freelance accountant for dangerous criminal organizations. With a Treasury agent, J.K. Simmons, hot on his heels, Christian takes on a state-of-the-art robotics company as a legitimate client. As Wolff gets closer to the truth about a discrepancy that involves millions of dollars, the body count starts to rise.
Right.
Okay.
So the government
it's closer to yours.
Yeah.
So it's closer to you than mine. Okay.
Okay. And the thing is, remember we said that Gavin O'Connor did some well-regarded films. It looks like his filmography is kind of mixed.
No. Jane Got a Gun was a last-minute replacement. I think.
Okay.
It was trouble in the beginning.
Okay.
The director quit on the day of filming.
Okay.
The previous director. And he had to come in and clean up the mess.
Okay, all right. Okay, gotcha.
So that Jane Got a Gun is not on him.
Okay, all right. He also did Miracle, which was pretty good. All right. Anyway, he's a decent director. Ben Affleck's been on a roll lately as director and actor, and now he's Batman. So I wonder how big of a draw he is as an actor. When you're playing Batman, Batman has a brand, but when you're just playing original character in a film, that depends on your star power, and I'm just wondering, does he have a draw as an actor?
Well, sure. I mean, look at some movies they've been in. Gone Girl, right?
Yeah, Gone Girl. Yeah, but Gone Girl was David Fincher.
Right. I mean, there's Argo. There's The Town.
Yeah, Argo, The Town. Yeah, but he directed those.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he starred in Argo too.
Well.
Yeah,
I mean,
he starred in Argo too.
So I guess he's a decent draw. I mean, he might not be up there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's decent.
So what are you thinking? The trailer is kind of interesting, but at the same time, it's October and kind of a dumping ground for films that the studios don't have faith in.
Well, it could be that they're taking advantage of the slowness of this season right now.
Right.
Even Argo, I mean, it opened to about 19 million, but then it went on to have a worldwide gross of 232 and won Oscars.
Yeah.
I mean, is this movie that? I don't know, but the thing is, The Accountant looks like that Tom Cruise movie. Feels kind of like that Tom Cruise movie. What's that?
Which one?
That recent one that he is in, that he plays that operative.
Mission Impossible, right?
No, not Mission Impossible. A smaller one, and it's based on a book series.
Oh, let's see. You mean Jack Reacher?
Yeah, Jack Reacher. Yeah, so it's kind of like that Jack Reacher, and I think they're trying to make this into kind of like that, where he would just go into these criminal organizations and help them clean up the books.
I don't see it though. Jack Reacher is more of a straightforward, tough guy action movie. The Accountant is more of a, hey, this guy's really smart, he's autistic, he can put things together, and
he can handle a gun.
Yeah, he can handle a gun, but it's not exactly like Jack Reacher, more of a clear-cut tough guy.
Well, what I'm saying is that they're gonna, if successful, we're gonna see The Accountant too.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're gonna make him. Yeah, no.
Well, because
they're gonna.
Well, because this is like the government's after him. He's helped all these bad guys do illegal business. Whereas Jack Reacher, well, I haven't seen the first one. Is more of a guy who, more of a tough guy who used to be in the military and all this stuff, and they want to, I guess, hire him.
Well, look, he's going to turn face, right? He plays a heel, and he's going to turn face, right? He's going to work for the government. Trust me on this.
All right. Okay, so, all right.
Okay, so Ben Affleck, Gavin O'Connor, The Accountant. How do you think it's going to do?
I'll give it 10 million.
Okay, so you know what? I say, if Argo can do that well, and Ben Affleck has the halo effect from.
Well, Argo is more of an awards play, whereas The Accountant is more of a genre entertainment type film.
Yeah, sure, and that works well as well too. Look, I'm gonna say this could probably do between 20 to 25.
Whoa, that's huge.
I'm gonna go high on this one.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go high on this one because, like I said, it's Ben Affleck. He's fresh off of this big series. This is Warner Brothers, right? Ben Affleck is one of the studio stars.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're betting big on him, so they're gonna promote this movie.
Right.
Because so much is riding on him. He's Batman, right? So The Accountant, yeah.
All right. I'm going 10. You're going 20 to 25. We'll see who's right.
All right. How about we move on to Max Steel?
Yeah, Max Steel, not feeling it. I'm thinking same deal, maybe around 10 million, 8 million.
Yeah, Max Steel is a toy.
Yeah. And it looks pretty
that
generic
probably
too.
got turned into... Yeah, that got turned into maybe a video game, maybe comic books, whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's also a cartoon series as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I browsed the aisles of the toys, because I have kids, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see any Max Steel toys, right? Maybe there's some now, but it's based on probably an old toy.
Right. Is there a TV show on Cartoon Channel? Is there a TV show on Cartoon
Probably,
Channel?
yeah, probably.
Okay. All right, so what number are you going with?
You say 10 million, right?
Yeah, I'm going 10. Well, yeah, 10 million.
Yeah, I'm saying 10 to 15 too.
All right.
It is a children's movie. It has the special effects. Unlike Middle School, this one's kind of more appealing.
Yeah.
I guess
more appealing
it
to...
has a wider base.
Yeah, right.
So I say 10 million, but it could potentially go as high as 15. Open as high as 15.
Okay.
All right, Kevin Hart, what now?
This is one of those stand-up comedy that's been documented. And then they add some stuff before and after the stand-up routine. I think these things are pretty reliable, right? I'll say 15 million.
Well, I'm not sure how reliable they are, but the thing is, like, these things are cheap to make. They just film his concert,
Yeah.
right? I mean, concert meaning that his stand-up.
Yeah.
He had a stand-up routine that lasted however long, and they just film it, and as you said, they kind of inserted these other scenes in it.
Yeah, with celebrities like Halle Berry.
Celebrities and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I believe other concert films did well as well, right?
Yeah, decent. Yeah.
I
Depends.
There are a couple like Kings of Comedy or something like that. Let me see.
Yeah, Kings of Comedy. I think it opened to like 10 or 15 million.
Yeah,
too.
the original Kings of Comedy opened to like 11 million.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's been super consistent.
Yeah, in any case, these concert films, they do well at the box office relative to its budget.
Yeah. So what are you thinking? I'm thinking 15.
You're thinking 15 that high?
Yeah. Kevin Hart, he's been on the roll. He's been steady.
That's true too, huh? And like I say, it's a comedy, even though it's a stand-up, right? And those tend to do well with the African American audience.
Yeah.
And this one has a wider base as well,
Yeah.
I think.
It could do more than 15, but I'm just going to say 15.
All right, I'm gonna go with you, 15 million.
All right.
Because he's gonna use his awesome social media presence and tweet it out to his faithful base.
Yeah, right.
To watch.
Right.
And I don't think he has any embarrassing tapes to derail this movie. So.
Yeah, right. So we disagree about The Accountant. So I'm going Kevin Hart 15, The Accountant 10, Max Steel around 8. You're going The Accountant will do 25, and then Kevin Hart you're going 15. Except I'm thinking Kevin Hart will do better, and you're thinking The Accountant will do best.
Yeah, I think The Accountant might be the number one movie because of, Ben Affleck, and he's important to Warner Brothers because, like I said, he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. Yeah, and he's won a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that's it for now. I guess that's our podcast. Tune in next week to see how we did with our projections.
All right. See you guys next week.